Welcome back to another episode of Red Tinted Glasses and a full-time reaction as Aberdeen set an unwanted new club record of going 6 games without a goal, falling to a 1-0 defeat at Parkhead. Calum, thoughts on kind of instant at full-time?
We are doggy doo-doo, aren't we? We just give them a lot of time and space on the ball, especially in the first half. But that's from what I saw anyway. I wasn't really paying too much attention. That sort of tells you the level we're at now. I was just editing a video and had it on the other screen, kind of half looking at it every now and then. So there we are. That's how interested I am in an Aberdeen Football Club as things stand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really blame you. Kind of the way things have been going, it's not exactly attractive football to watch. It's not an attractive style. And if you watch the first 10 minutes, it wasn't attractive. We gave Christopher Ayer the freedom of Parkhead. We went man-to-man against Celtic, which has never worked for us in the past, but why not try it one more time, see what we can get out of it. And lo and behold, that backfired spectacularly when we allowed Callum McGregor to run 40 yards, but you've got to give credit to David Turnbull because that's a stunning strike regardless of the distance and space he was afforded.
Yeah, some hit, but you've got to. I've watched the video back of the goal quite a lot, and the pressing is simply sublime. The urgency to get out to the ball, and even before then, as you said, when McGregor allowed to wander so far with the ball just freely, it was like a training game. That particular play, not great whatsoever. Nothing enjoyable about any of it.
No, not at all. Ash Taylor came into the side. I know you had some comments about that, dropping an attacker when, we haven't scored in the last 5 games to bring in a defender. But Ash, I mean, he offers a long throw as a threat to our attacking game. But overall, I mean, he wasn't out of place defensively today.
No, he was fine. And to be fair, he came in for McGinn, and McGinn's deliveries in the last 5 minutes, absolutely abysmal. That free kick that Lewis laid off to him, could be the first man with that. And then before that, shanked one straight out for a goal kick. Pretty concerning. I don't know what Niall's offering these days. I keep thinking we'll put him in a little bit of a creative spark and all that kind of stuff, but he can't even deliver a cross these days. I'm quite concerned.
Agent McGinn, though, against his former team, you know what, scores against Parkhead and puts his hands up to apologise. So that was the joke I was having with the Celtic sporting friends of mine. But Dean Campbell in midfield at the start of the game was set about to man-mark Ryan Christie, which, as Steve Cowan countlessly pointed out in co-coms today, wasn't really effective. But I was very impressed with Dean Campbell. Probably his performance along with Flo Canberry, about the only positives I've been able to take away from tonight.
Yeah, from what I actually paid attention to, I would agree with that. But as I would like to reiterate, what I paid attention to was extremely minimal. Canberry did look bright in sparks when I turned my head slightly to actually bother looking at it.
And Dean Campbell, I don't know if you'll have noticed, then he broke up the play very well in the first half to then set Canberry free. Canberry could have given the ball back to Dean, but went himself and shot straight at Scott Bain. But the goal that we conceded was now means we've gone 106 games against Celtic and only managed to keep 4 clean sheets.
That is generally an astounding statistic. Not even 10% of games, not even 5% of games, actually, now that I think about it, if my maths is correct. I'm not very good at maths. That is so appalling. And I think you'd be struggling to find any other record like that.
It's quite frightening. I think the games listed was the Eugene Daddy game where he did the train. So I think that's the snowball game for those of a certain era. Considine when he scored the winner at Parkhead on the last day of the season.
That's the only one I actually remember.
A 0-0. Don't have a date for that one. And Darren Mackey scoring the winner in the Scottish Cup replay at Parkhead in the quarterfinal, which really counts for nothing when you lose to Queen of the South in the next round.
Not that you're still bitter about it.
Not at all, not at all. If we never win the Scottish Cup in my lifetime, that I'll still take that to the grave.
Oh, a long time to go before then, Glenn. Don't be like that.
In the first half, did you see the penalty incident, the handball from Welsh?
That I did see.
You want to call him?
Yeah, that I did see. Handball hit his hand, but again,
That's genuinely how handball works, Calum.
Yeah,
yes.
I know. Thank you. I'm very clued up about football. Thanks very much. Good tactical analysis about this incident. It hit his hand, but at the same time, it's from very close range. And again, if it's in the other box, you're probably going, "Oh, there's no way he's getting his hand out of there in time." But when you're at Parkhead, give us a penalty, please.
It's a penalty all day long for me. You guys were screaming about, you and Michael screamed about the Hibs penalty being kind of stonewaller. I don't care. His hand wasn't down by his side. It was out. I don't know if there was even going to be anybody on the end of that ball that was being played in, but it's stopping a potential opportunity. So for me, that's a penalty. And when you look at the handball that Celtic then got in the second half, when the ball was blasted at Tommy Hoban from about a yard, when his arm was well and truly by his side, he deems that a free kick.
It is a bit mental.
I don't want to sound like Steven Gerrard, but consistency, please.
Yeah. No, it is a bit mental when, like, the things where it's like, if that's outside the box, then it's definitely given as a foul or whatever, and then it's in the box and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's too soft. But these days, I don't even have a clue what the actual handball rule is, and it seems to vary from country to country as well. Given, like, there was this silhouette thing for a while, and then there's now this in England. There's the sleeve thing, whatever that's all about, and I don't know what it is here anymore.
It differs by referee as well.
Yeah, it's quite concerning. Consistency would be nice. I do agree with you on that front, but I mean, yeah, I would like the penalty, but we didn't get it. And if it was the other end, we would have been fuming if it had been given against us.
Yeah, I think there's no denying that at
Exactly.
all. No. We definitely grew into the first half. We grew into the game in general, really. And one person that, again, Dean Campbell was at the heart of the first real chance we created, firing a ball across the face of goal. Hornby inches away from getting on the end of it. It fell to Matty Kennedy, who tried to cut back inside instead of hitting it first time. What did you make of that chance?
You're going to be really delighted with me with this.
Didn't see it.
But it wasn't because I wasn't paying attention. I was actually watching it, but then my perfectly legal stream did actually freeze. I had to refresh it, and then it had missed the whole thing. So there we go. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen it back to see if it was poor play from Hornby, kind of not anticipating the ball in. But I mean, in the replays that I saw at halftime, I just feel that I don't know if Kennedy prefers everything on his left foot, but you just think these opportunities don't come about just hit it first time. But good creativity from Dean Campbell there, who did you even notice wasn't wearing Under Armour? Or
I did notice that. I did, yes, I did actually. It is encouraging, I suppose, even though I didn't see half of it, that Dean Campbell has been a bit more creative and maybe expressing himself a little bit more in recent times rather than just being Mr. Safe, which is good. And I think we can now debunk the myth now that it's anything to do with Under Armour, which disappoints me. But
which was just your myth.
Yeah. But I will probably stick with it whenever he puts in like a really good shift without Under Armour on. I will stick with it.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. He had more of a attacking role or a freer role once he kind of left his man-marking job of Ryan Christie. Ross McCrory, I don't know if he was kind of sitting deeper. Wasn't trying to work out what his role was, given Ash Taylor returned to the starting lineup. And then Lewis Ferguson just roaming the midfield as well. That was the three in midfield. I was trying to work out who was sitting, who was holding, and who was kind of being allowed more freedom to move forward. But one person that certainly had a lot of freedom, a lot of space, and was creating was Flo Canberry.
He did.
Unlucky.
Carry on.
He did.
That's all I've got to say about Fulkenberry.
Hitting the post in the first half that Scott Bain just didn't exactly cover himself in glory.
Didn't see it, but he looked good, so that's all I've got to say. That's encouraging, though. I did see a lot of talk on Twitter that basically Fulkenberry will be the next person to score for Aberdeen. Whether that's this month or not, we don't know yet, but that's probably the only man who's going to score for us, probably from now until the end of the season.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he certainly did enough to create opportunities for himself. It was a nice turn, and then the shot, like I said, from distance. I think if you're a Celtic fan, you'd have been hugely disappointed at conceding if it had hit the post the right way and gone in. But it's nice to see, he tried his luck from distance against St Mirren at the weekend. So it's good that we've got a player now in our ranks that isn't afraid to shoot on sight and try his luck, because boy, do we need some luck on that goal-scoring front, and quick.
I was going to say that is sort of typical of our luck, though, isn't it? Bounces out rather than just being a couple inches in and then coming in off the post. But he does look like someone who actually has a bit of confidence about him, and there's not a lot of that in the Aberdeen team, so it's very much welcome. How long it'll take for that to be knocked out of him, I don't know, though.
Yeah, and someone that might look already like they've got confidence knocked out of them is Fraser Hornby. Another game that I felt passed him by. Yeah,
I mean, I might just start calling him Fraser Horny just to make something a bit more exciting about him. I might just go with that.
Mm-hmm. It's just, frustrating that we've signed a young player that, when he said in his interview when he signed that he was hoping to impress potentially Steve Clarke to get into the Euro squad, but he'd be lucky to get back into the under-20 squad, under-21s at this rate.
Yeah, I feel like I said it about Marley Watkins. Maybe once he gets a goal, they'll maybe start flowing. But even then, it didn't really happen with Marley Watkins that much. And it's looking even less likely with Hornby than it did with Watkins. It's pretty concerning.
Yeah, it's not like he's got plenty of games left this season to try and rectify that either. The second half, Celtic they were in control. I felt throughout, but we did grow into the game better in the second half. A lot of niggly fouls and a strange incident in the second half. Probably you weren't paying attention to this, so I don't even know why I'm going to discuss it with you, but there'll be plenty of our listeners that were, that will know the incident I'm talking about. Ross McCrory and David Turnbull clashing in the midfield.
Yeah, you just kind of speaking about that. Just pretend I'm not here for this bit.
Cool. I might as well pretend you're not here for the entire episode at this rate.
Oh no, I've got something Rey Mysterio based coming, so don't worry.
Oh, cool. So there was a challenge involving David Turnbull and Ross McCrory. Now, it was very much a 50-50, and in actual fact, I think David Turnbull won the ball and Ross McCrory then stole it and proceeded to break up the pitch. However, in Alan Muir's eyes, Ross McCrory illegally challenged Turnbull, brought it back, Celtic free kick. And the guys I was watching the game with said, if that's a Celtic free kick, it should probably be a booking for McCrory because it's stopping a dangerous attack on a Celtic perspective. I didn't really think it was a booking either way. But McInnes's protests of said incident led to him getting booked. Nice to see some fight from the manager there.
I suppose, and we'd like to clarify that you were watching it on Zoom and not in person. That was when you said watching it with people. That's what you meant, wasn't it, Glenn?
Yes, thank you for clarifying that. Yes.
No problem. Stay at home, save lives,
stay safe,
protect the NHS. So a bit Boris Johnson there, aren't I? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say Nicola Sturgeon, but I'll see where your politics lie there.
That's not true, but that was his tagline, wasn't it? Stay at home, save lives, protect the NHS.
In general, though, you probably didn't even notice the referee if you didn't notice most of the game. Alan Muir, terrible throughout once again.
Every time we have him, eyes painted on. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I hope we've got a better referee at the weekend. I don't know who we've got. Not that the referee's going to help us score goals right enough, but...
Nope. Maybe they gets a penalty. Maybe, but that's unlikely.
Maybe. Matty Kennedy, another player that Stevie Cowan and co-coms was very critical of in the first half, especially on his defensive duties. Did you think he improved at all today going forward? Because I know we were quite critical of his balls into the box.
Yeah, he looked really good. He looked like an absolute world beater, Glenn. I can't believe how good Matty Kennedy is. Just simply superb. Genuinely, me being here is absolutely pointless today, isn't it?
Yeah, another poor performance probably from him in the sense, especially defensively. First half, Greg Taylor had the beating of him pretty much every time he ran at him. Conor McLennan got half an hour tonight. I'm surprised you even noticed he got half an hour, if you even noticed he came onto the pitch.
I did pay attention.
Is that when you started paying attention?
Yeah, basically. I was like, oh my God, more than 15 minutes Conor McLennan's going on. Yeah, that was exciting. Looked okay. That's about it. I mean, no one's looking particularly good these days, are they?
It was someone that actually could deliver a half-decent ball into the box for a change.
Again, not looking at anyone in particular.
Yeah, well, there was one free kick that we had. For some reason, Dean Campbell decided to take the free kick. I'm not sure what decision that was, and we didn't even beat the first man there, so I don't know if he'll be on free kicks much longer after that either. It's funny though, because Stuart McConvey texted me to say, here's some points for your podcast. I don't think Conor McLennan is keeping the ball too well, and then texted me at full time. He said, well, he actually did good in injury time with those balls into the box. So
hey, quick improvement. See what happens when you give him minutes. He improves so quickly.
Just a shame that the minutes that he started improving were the last 4 of the game.
Well, beggars can't be choosers, Glenn. Come on.
No, very true. Callum Hendry, though, again, getting minutes. Again, I know you didn't even notice he was on the pitch, but anyone that actually did pay attention might not have noticed either, barring him picking up a booking.
Man's a loose cannon, isn't he? He just comes on and break like half someone just like immediately as soon as he comes on the pitch. He did that against us as well. So, I mean, I'm sorry for being very, very useless today. I was just editing a Football Manager video. I was like, well, there's not much point paying attention. I thought it was going to be worse than 1-0, if anything. But there we go. But Callum Hendry, he's an interesting character, that man. It was a weird signing at a time, and since he's come in, he has basically all he's done is just come on as a substitute and just try to take someone's legs.
Pretty much, it's not looked like scoring. Unlike Bruce Anderson, who's bagged himself another goal tonight.
Proud of him. Well done, Bruce. It's typical, isn't it? It's really typical. I thought, why the hell? Originally, I was like, okay, he's gone out on loan. He's not been able to score or play regularly in the Championship even. And he's gone to Hamilton and he's performing very, very well. So congratulations, Bruce, if you're tuning in. I'll get to the Rey Mysterio thing now before I forget about it. We're on course for the 619.
Oh, the 619 minutes.
Yeah, we're on course. There's not been a lot of joy so far this season, and I will take great joy in that if it happens.
Well, we've certainly beaten the record from 1973 now, and that ticked over after the 69th minute with the Here We Go podcast tweeting that out. That it was the 69th minute that led to the breaking of a very much unwanted record that hopefully we don't extend much further into the weekend.
I had to resist my temptation to make the joke about the funny minute it came in there.
I'm glad you're adding so much to tonight's episode.
Entertainment value, if nothing else,
This is what you've got to offer if we do a watch along.
Yeah, this will be it. It'll be worse probably because I'll be even more uncomfortable. So I'll probably just make even more terrible jokes and try and
and speaking of watch alongs, there's been plenty of interest in us to do that. So I think what we should do is once we get to 300 subscribers, so if you're watching on YouTube and haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And then what we'll do is when we get to 300 subscribers, hopefully we do it by the end of this season, we will set up a watch along for the next game.
Yeah, okay. I will agree to it. If we can work out how to set it up, that is another thing. We'll have to sort that out, but fine. Yeah, it will be pain. It'll be painful for me, and it'll be painful for anyone watching me be so uncomfortable and just try and show off to make myself feel better. But subscribe if you want to see it.
To be fair, we've listened to the likes of Fraser Fyvie and Stuart Duff on co-commentary. this season on Red TV, it can't be much worse than that.
Oh boy, you shouldn't have said that because we're in first week now.
Yeah, well, I'll speak for myself then. Overall, though, I know it's another defeat and another game without a goal, but I feel that we can take positives in the form of Canberra away from today's game. And like I said earlier, Dean Campbell's performance in the midfield, for me, is encouraging. Hopefully that converts to Saturday, but we all know what to expect from a Tommy Wright team coming to Pittodrie. Yeah,
it'll be very, very stuffy, and we know that we're not good at breaking down teams that sit in against us. If you want to get a point minimum against us, that's all you need to do, because we won't be able to break it down. And Tommy Wright's teams are very, very, very good at doing that, which is concerning. But I'd say there is a couple positives from tonight, which sounds weird in a 1-0 defeat, and more positives probably than there has been in the past few weeks. But hopefully we can carry it forward and just be a bit direct and have a go at them, a proper go at them, and not just let them sit in and just go side to side and side to side, break at them, run at their defence, unsettle them. Mm-hmm. But we all know that's not going to happen. But we can hope.
We can hope, and hopefully the weather conditions aren't as bad as they were last weekend, because that was the excuse that was used against St Mirren. I know fine well that the penalty incident will be used tonight by McInnes. I agree to an extent he could use that, but we didn't do enough for the full 90 minutes. It took us really until the last 20 minutes to start looking really lively. Celtic themselves probably didn't have to get out of third, fourth gear. Could have probably stepped up, especially in the first half, if they really wanted to. So there's definitely, we're not saying we're delighted coming away from a 1-0. There's definitely work to be done. And we need to see that those lights of positivity conveyed on Saturday as well, because there's no point in showing glimmers of hope against Celtic to then turn in a terrible performance against Kilmarnock on Saturday.
Which is very much possible. Very, very much possible. But yeah, it is very weird that we are sort of a little bit more upbeat from a 1-0 defeat. I'm just surprised it was only one, in all honesty. When they went 1-0 up within 15 minutes, I thought, the arse is going to collapse. It's going to be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I think, Joe Lewis had a great save from Edward in the first half. He tipped it round for a corner and then got down. You seen that one?
Yeah, I did.
Do you see the save from Elyounoussi?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. When Celtic got played through and he came out well to smother the shot from Elyounoussi. Late on, that would have pretty much killed the game off at the time if it had gone in. So good that he stayed alert throughout, because there was really not much to trouble him in the second half, which I suppose, again, we could take some encouragement from, because the ease at which Celtic were raining down on our goal in the first 20 minutes was very concerning, and I thought it was going to be a long, painful night.
Yeah, maybe that'll give Lewis some confidence as well after a few dodgy performances in recent times, to say the least. But also, it probably does say a bit about Celtic, that they didn't put away such a poor Aberdeen team, how they've been this season. But
yeah, probably just, I think, though, the game in general just sums up two sides that are having terrible seasons. Yeah, exactly. It was like that someone putting up the screenshot of Aberdeen and Celtic. It's like two idiots fighting. That's kind of at times what it felt like.
Yeah, and I put the Spider-Man one, where it's like Spider-Man and Spider-Man pointing at each other. And I did that one where it's just McInnes versus Lennon. So
yeah, both encouraging each other before the game. And Lennon will be the happier of the two tonight. McInnes will be going back and scratching his head and thinking, how do I turn this around at the weekend? Because the Q&A, the PR disaster that is the Q&A, was cancelled last night. Well, it was cancelled at the weekend. Mm-hmm. So we managed to avoid a PR disaster that would have avoided putting pressure on the players. So it'll be interesting to see what pressure was on the players after another defeat. Thoughts on the cancellation of that?
I kind of forgot that ever happened. I just blank these things from my mind. The fact they were going to even do it and they set up a time and a date for it was a bit of a shambles. I don't know why they thought now of all times would be a good idea to do it, but then once you've set it up, surely then it would just be better to just go through with it. Possibly, it's
questions.
A bit of a it's a shambles that they've cancelled it, but also at the same time, it could only go badly. Let's be honest. It's probably not. No one's going to come out of that looking good, regardless. I mean, the questions wouldn't have been great, and if he answered them, then it would have been tough questions to answer, and he would have looked terrible if he didn't then answer them. So it's a bit of a lose-lose, really.
Yeah, it was going to be a PR disaster when it was announced that he was doing a live Q&A.
A live one especially, yeah.
It was an even bigger disaster when he then went on to cancel it, because fans rightly, and are more than entitled to, ask questions of the situation currently ongoing at the club, not just on the field, but off the field, with the comments in relation to the finances. So there will be fans that are maybe happy with the man in charge and happy with the season so far that have got concerns around the finances. Mm-hmm. We're not just saying that people are angry because of the on-the-field situation. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be fans angered by this because they've not had their voice heard. And yes, it's been postponed, but he knew there was a game on the day after. Yeah. So it's just the whole timing of him cancelling it. It just doesn't sit well. Cheap shots in the statement about, linking the fact that we've never gone into administration or liquidation. I don't know why he likes to always reference Rangers being a new club. That'll definitely gain us views if they're still watching on YouTube, I'm sure. But it's just, and then to call out fans on social media as well. Yeah. Where else do you want us to voice our opinion? Because you've got folk very much doing corporate style banners, so they're paying for that in support. Mm-hmm. Where else do you want us to voice our criticism?
Exactly.
You can't be in the stadium.
What do you want us to scream into a pillow at home? Like what do they want? That's the only place that I think maybe the sort of McInnes out. The amount of people saying that is probably seems like more. I don't know where I'm looking, by the way. Seems like a bit more just now, but because people are so sort of angry that all you can really do is tweet. So it's probably people just tweeting angrily about that. That's all you really can do is shout into this empty void that is social media. Whereas like the games, it would maybe seem a little bit less, because it would just be like a boo at full time, and then people would probably just leave. And
I think it'd be a lot more passionate than that.
Well, I know, but then it would probably be like, then it's like, pub, okay, sound, and then that's fine. Whereas all you can do is just sit at home and yell on social media.
Tap that keyboard, yeah. And I think as well, like you said, it's being able to vent freely on social media just now. And to be fair, I think they're lucky folk aren't suffocating themselves in their pillows, let alone screaming into them the style that we've had to watch just now.
It's been bad. Yeah, it's been bad.
It's been very bad. Hopefully, though, you've enjoyed this initial reaction. Well, it's basically been Glenn's initial reaction followed by some of Calum's opinions. Like I said, if you want to tune into more content from ourselves, make sure you follow us on Twitter at @RTG_podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. Remember, we want to hit 300 subscribers. Hopefully by the end of the season, if we do that, we will set up a watch along. We'll work on how to do that and bring that to you, because the football's not entertaining, so we'll try and add some form of entertainment to it. And we'll be back with hopefully a better reaction than tonight on Saturday after we take on Tommy Wright's Kilmarnock. Hopefully Calum's paid attention.
I will do that, I promise you, for next time. So if you want to come back to see me having paid attention, then you know what to do.
And just then we'll just say thanks to Skylights for letting us use YR8. And here's hoping for a goal, please, because we don't want to equal the SPFL record of 7 games without a goal, which Derek McInnes at St Johnstone did.
Speak for yourself. Booyaka, booyaka.